Hello everyone, today we're going to look at measures of center and spread. So let's have a look at these 5 random numbers there. How can we analyze numbers? We can look at them by looking at different attributes. First of all, we can look for the mean. The mean is the sum of the values divided by the total number of values that are there. So to work that out, we add all the numbers. 3 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 20, and we divide it by the number of values that are there. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now 20 plus 5 is 25, and 3 plus 3 plus 4 is 10, so we have 35 divided by 5, which is 7. So our mean is 7. The next thing we're going to look at is median. The median is the middle value. So if we look at this value, the median would be 4. There are 5 values here. What about these values? If you look at these 5 values, the middle values seem to be 3. But in reality, these numbers are exactly the same as their other numbers. So what have we done wrong? So whenever you get values, you must make sure to put them from smallest to largest. So here we have 3, 3, 4, 5, and then 20. If you do so, then your middle value will be correct. Let's have a look at another set of numbers. In this case, we have 6 values. What happens when we have an even number of values? We can't get the middle value, so we're going to get the middle 2 values. In that case, we're going to take the 4 and the 5, and then find the average of the 2, which is 4.5. That is our median value. So to recap, odd number values, order them first and then take the middle value. And then with even numbers, order them first and then take the average of the 2 middle values. What else can we do? We can look at the word mode. The mode is the number that occurs the most. And I remember this because mo and most have an O. So in this scenario, it's very simple. 3 happens to occur the most. What other variations are there when we look for mode? Well, sometimes there might be a set of numbers where there are 2 numbers that repeat the most. In that case, we call it bimodal. So the modes for these values are actually 3 and 5. But most of the time this year, we're going to look at things with just one mode. So the mode here is 3. And the last word that is range. Range is how much it spreads. So if we look at these numbers, 3 to 20, between 3 and 20, we have 20 minus 3, we have 17 values in between them. If I had a look at another set of values, let's say these ones, let's say this is class A, the scores out of 20, and this is class B, the scores out of 20. Which group of students would have performed better if that was their test scores? Well, if you look at these numbers, the best student got 20, but it's hard to say that that class did better because a lot of students got very low numbers. When we look at these values, it's a lot more consistent. And the way to describe that it's consistent, we look at the range. So the range for this one, 12 minus 8, is just 4. So when the range is really small, we know that it's more consistent. So again, to recap, the range is the highest value minus the lowest value. Let's have a look at one of the examples in your textbooks. So for each of the following data sets, calculate firstly the mean, and then the median, and then the range. So let's separate this and put it into set 1 and set 2. And let's look for the mean, the median, and the range. Let's do it this way. So for set 1, to look for the mean, we have to add all these numbers. So 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 4 plus all of them up. And when we add them all together, we get 136. And there are, let's count them, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There are 17 values altogether. So the mean for set 1 is 8. whereas the mean for set 2 is 1.2. We add them all together, we get 122, and this time there's the same number of values, 17, and the mean here is 7.18. I'm going to write down mean. Okay, let's look at the second thing, median. So the median is the middle value. We know there's 17 values, so 17 divided by 2, let's just do this over here. 17 divided by 2 is 8.5. So we look for the 8.5 or 8.5 number. So how does that work? There should be 8 numbers on each side and 1 number in the middle. So 3, 6, 7, 8. So that's the middle value. As you can see, there's 8 on this side and there's 8 on that side. So the median happens to be the same for both sets. Now let's have a look at the last thing that it's asking us, the range. So the range for set 1, we have 30 take away 1, which is 29. And for set 2, we have 16 take away 1. 16 take away 1, which is 15. And as we just said before, this is a smaller range, so they're more consistent, even though they consistently got a lower score in this case. So 30 is a number that's outside the usual numbers, and we call that outliers. So numbers that are very, very different to the rest of the other numbers. And lastly, if you're familiar with Hey Diddle Diddle, here are some lyrics for you to remember the mean, median, mode, and range. Bye!